That's always nice. Hey everyone, just getting underway here. Give us a couple minutes to get situated. Excited to be introducing you guys to Kevin Anson of Ads of Fire. All right, we have our guest for us here. Let me introduce you to Kevin Anson of Ads of Fire. How are you, man? Can you hear me all right? I can't hear you, so I don't know. Let's double check. Let's double check before we get too much further. What's up, man? Hey, Kevin, go ahead and say something. Let me see if you're live on the feed through. Go ahead and say something, will you, Kevin? Yeah, it's not coming through. Interview. You want to try a different mic input or something, or just kind of reconnect? Or maybe your Chrome settings. Would it be something with your Chrome settings with when you joined the call? Okay. Sorry about that, guys. We'll give this another try here. All right, let's try this again.
How's that?
Oh yeah, I think we're here.
All right, cool. I had to restart my browser. I don't know what was up with that. So.
All right, I think we're good to go. Oh, dude, live streaming it doesn't matter how many times you do it. It's never
I know, right?
Without its issues. I'm going to see here. So yeah, man. So catch me up on things. I know you just got invited to speak at Funnel Hacking Live. How exciting is that?
Yeah, I'm really excited about it, man. It's funny because I've been working with them for 6 or 7 years, and going to the events and seeing all the amazing people go speak on stage, and being one of the camera guys, and then being somebody who works on the backgrounds for the stage, and then being asked to speak on stage, I was just like, wow, this is a dream come true. So it's really cool.
So for those of you who don't know, me and Kevin, we actually were roommates at Funnel Hacking Live a few years ago. That's kind of where we first met. We met online and we got to hang out there. And ever since then, we've kind of been connected. But it's the first time I've had you on the marketing show. And so we're super happy to have you. I've been telling everybody, I've been emailing everyone that we're having you on. And I sat through your presentation. I loved it when you put it on for a 7-figure agency with Josh Nelson. And I was scrambling, taking notes. I loved it. I know I've seen your stuff. You got fire. You've got calls to action, you've got pattern interrupts, and you have a framework. I mean, this is not something that's it's not accidental. This is something that's been proven over time, and you've developed a framework with your team. And so I just feel really lucky that you're going to share this with us. I mean, you very well easily I'm sure could charge, and you probably have. And I'm sure this good exposure, right? Maybe people don't want to do it themselves. I'm sure they'll be able to find you, that kind of thing. But I'm just excited to see your presentation. There should be somewhere on your side where for you to share your screen, and then I can bring it into the feed. Do you see that there on your end? Like a share, any kind of share screen from back on from the Ecamm side of things.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. If you do that,
I'll keep it pretty simple for you guys. I don't have slides prepared because so much has changed since last time I've done anything like this for Josh Nelson, but I do have, a diagram that I use when I'm telling people about this stuff. So I can go ahead and share that.
Okay. And if you want.
Hopefully this works. Can you guys see that?
Okay, just a second. I got to bring it into the thing here. So let me go ahead and how about that? I think we're good there.
We're good?
Yeah. Love it, man. So take it away and let's hear what you got.
Cool. So this is pretty much the foundation of everything that we do when we're creating ads for people. And these are the 10 ingredients that we're always looking at. And every time we sit down to create an ad for a client, we look at all of these and we decide which ones we want to put into the ad. And not every ad that we create is going to have all 10 of these ingredients, right? And so sometimes, we might pick 3 of them and we'll put them into the ad. Just depends on what we're selling or what the end product is, things like that. But let me just start by saying, for those of you who are looking at videos like it's this complicated thing and, there's a lot of editing involved and graphics and all that cool stuff, it doesn't always have to be that way. What we've been finding is that some of the ads that look like they were homemade are actually outperforming some of the ads that look really, really polished. Now, it's not to say that we stopped doing highly polished ads, right? Like we're still doing those where it has all the cool cuts and the music and the graphics and things like that. But for people who are just wanting to get their feet wet and make some video ads and get them out there into the marketplace and start testing some stuff, shooting this stuff with your smartphone it's totally possible. And it's actually a great idea to do it that way. If you look at guys like Frank Kern or, even Gary Vee does this, Russell does this sometimes, Dean Graciosi, they pull out their smartphone, they shoot an ad, and then they might send it over to their team and they'll throw it up on Facebook or Instagram or wherever they're running the ads. Sometimes they'll put captions on it, and because captions do help. There's a lot of apps for that. I mean, James says he uses CapCut. There's an app called Captions. It's like just the name of it, Captions, and it's like $10 a month. It's a little purple icon. And you upload your video in there and it puts those cool little captions on top. I mean, you're ready to go. It's literally it's all about what you say inside of the ad that is going to help it perform better than if you just turn on your camera and you don't really know what you're doing and you don't know what to say. So these are the ingredients that we're always looking at when we're scripting an ad or we're creating an ad. Maybe we're sending it out for a voiceover or whatever. But this is the stuff right here that you guys can screenshot this, and be thinking about this stuff when you're creating an ad, because these are the unconscious psychological triggers that people have in their head when they're watching something from you. And they're like, is this going to solve my pains? Is this going to solve my problems? Is this going to introduce the desires that I have in my life? Is this person qualified to be speaking on this topic? Who have they helped? Have they gotten other people results? And, how long have they been doing this for? How many widgets have they sold? How much money have they made? Whatever it is, right? So these are the things that we're always looking at, and we kind of like check a couple off. We're like, all right, well, we're making an ad. we got a pattern interrupt in there, we got a hook, we got some pains and desires, we got a call to action. That should be good. Let's test that. Right. But I will say though that when you are making video ads, I mean, you might be pulling out your phone in the parking lot at Target and you're sitting in your car and you're like, I'm going to record an ad right now in my car. Great, do it. Then you try it a couple of different ways, right? So you might start off with a different hook where if you're selling coaching or something, you say, if you're looking to 10x your business in the next 6 months, I have something that you're not going to see anywhere else, right? That's your hook. And then you might try it a couple different ways. And it might require you to like sit down on your phone and maybe you like, jot some notes down, or maybe you pull out Chat GPT and you ask it, what are some hooks that you can suggest for this particular topic? So you might have 3 different hooks that you try. But where I will say that most people fail is when they don't try different hooks. They just go with one video ad, they record it one time, they run ads, and then they say ads don't work. It's because you didn't try enough variations. And to take it further than that, maybe you record a longer ad. It's like 2 minutes long. You cover all the ingredients that you see on the screen right here. Then you take that and maybe you bring it into Adobe Premiere or an editing software, whatever your favorite one is to use on your computer. I would highly recommend doing it on the desktop computer because editing on apps is just a nightmare in my experience. It's not intuitive. It's just
Like
doesn't work that
like
well.
on your phone, right?
Right. So if you want to edit on your phone, you totally can. But I would say doing it on a desktop computer is way easier. You're going to get a lot less frustrated and you're going to get it done in half the amount of time or more. So
are you seeing most of your stuff in vertical format? Like is that what's been best versus a horizontal format?
It honestly doesn't matter that much. I would say if you're going to pick one, I would go with a square because then you can run it on Facebook and you can run it on Instagram because it's going to take up all of the square space on Instagram, which they like square. If you do a vertical ad, you can, of course, run it on Facebook. You can run it on Instagram. You can run it on stories or reels, and then you can also run it on TikTok. But I would say like the most common size that we make is a square. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to shoot your video vertically, like holding your phone vertically like this. You can shoot it sideways. Just give yourself enough space to that, you're standing back a little bit, or maybe you're holding your arm out a little more. So that way, when you're cutting it down the middle, because if you're cutting out a square, it's not cutting off your shoulders too much. Like you kind of want to fit within that square pretty well. That way you're not like super zoomed in. So, squares is a good size, but I mean, like we've made tons of ads that are widescreen, like 16:9 widescreen, and they do great. And so the verdict is still kind of out on that. It just depends on what platform you're running your ads on, right? If you're going all in on TikTok, then obviously you're going to want to do vertical, right?
Yeah.
So anyways, I was saying, like, you take your 2-minute video and you can take that into your editing program and you can chop it up and move things around. So you're like, okay, I like the way that I said this at the 45-second mark. Like maybe you started and talked about results and you want to take that and move it towards the front of the video. So now you're just kind of, mixing things up and trying different variations. What we've found too is that when we talk about the results earlier on in a video ad, those ones tend to do really well because they're seeking that out. They're waiting for you to say that. They're like, has this guy or girl gotten any results for anyone else? Like, is this a real thing? So taking that, maybe it's a case study. Maybe you're sharing a story of a student or a client or a customer, and you took them through this transformational journey. It's like, hey, we were able to get so-and-so's Facebook group from, 100 members. Now they have 5,000 members and they're pulling in an extra, 6 figures a month or whatever, right? So taking the ingredients and kind of mixing them up, that gives you the ability to have different versions of the ad. So that's just one important thing that I will mention is that you've got to be trying different stuff, trying different hooks, but don't run one ad, run multiple. And, you'll see that one of those ads, like you might have 5 or 10 variations of your ads in your Facebook ads manager. And one of those is going to float to the top to where it's going to be like, okay, this ad's doing really well. And I mean, we've seen hooks where the intro hook, one hook just like dramatically outperforms the other. And like, you just don't know with 100% certainty that when you create a video ad, like, oh, this one's absolutely going to crush it. Like, you don't know
Yeah.
that. Like, you want to try different stuff. So,
How long are you waiting before you're nixing off some of the poor performing ads? Like how much data do you need before you're gonna turn that one off?
you could
Days or
probably,
days?
you could usually tell within a week, but I will
Okay.
say though that I am not the guy who's, um,
Making the
steering or,
decision.
doing the controls on the airplane. I like to, I kind of think of it like a cockpit, like that stuff. It stresses me out to see it and it overwhelms me. I'm like, I'm not an ads guy. I have learned to run ads, but
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
do it. So
So you're providing the video file to then someone you know, an ad manager, and they're going to be the ones that are you know looking at the results
right,
usually.
yeah,
Now
exactly. So
I do see in your ingredients here, some of them are clearly going to be more towards the front, and then probably I mean call to action is typically the last thing, but maybe you can sprinkle it throughout. The pattern interrupt. Some of these things are identifying the hook. Those are going to be typically on the front end, right?
yeah, typically it's pattern interrupt is the first thing. Then usually it's the hook. Sometimes the hook is the pattern interrupt because you're introducing something that's, it's polarizing, or it's asking a question, or you're going to say, I'm going to share a secret in this video ad, or whatever it is. So the hook can be the pattern interrupt. Now, it doesn't mean every ad that you create, you have to be like setting a wallet on fire or jumping up and down, jumping out, whatever it is. It's the hook can be that. So yeah, traditionally pattern interrupt, hook, identify. Sometimes the identify goes in the beginning where that kind of is your hook, where it's like, a are you a coach? I'm going to share with you 3 tips for growing your business this year or whatever, right? So now you just did pattern interrupt, identify, hook. But those are like usually the first 3. And then you go to either pains and desires or result and promise. And then you go into your authority, then new opportunity, then value perception, then social proof, then CTA. Now, like you said, I mean, it doesn't mean that that's like the only way to do it, right? Like you could easily take social proof and you move it to the front, where it's literally like pattern interrupt, boom, social proof. So now you're sharing the results that someone else is getting as because of what you are offering to the marketplace. And so, but just getting all these pieces, I mean, you could literally just record each one of these things as its own separate 10-second, 15-second video. And now you have different pieces. Think of them as 10 pieces, and you're just rearranging them inside of your editing program. And you could
Yeah.
try them all in different ways. It's like, okay, I'm going to try 3 different hooks, 3 different identifies, calling people, however they identify themselves, 3 different pains and desires, 3 different authorities. You get the point. So now you have 30 different combinations that you can do. I
Yep.
mean, do the math on that. It's infinite. So
Love it.
yeah.
Hey, let's just give a shout out to some people tuning in live. We got Marie Madison, Richard Sargent. I know he loves to do like this. He calls it the March Madness of ads, where basically starting with a bunch, 64, 32, and then you kind of find your winners. You're kind of, pitting them against each other. So thanks, guys. What's up, Chris? Thanks for joining. What's up, Jake? Mark, what's up, guys? Thanks for tuning on. And Paul, what's up, guys? Let us know if you have any questions. Feel free to drop them in the chat. Can I just ask, what have been some of your like best performing like pattern interrupts? Would you say can you share some ideas? I know you're always doing something with, things flying around or fire or
Right.
what?
So we don't always have the ability to tell a client like Russell, if we work with him on something, we're not like, oh, hey man, make sure to get out your firewall. Like, I don't even know if he has one, but it's like, we don't always have the ability to tell him, hey, make sure to do a pattern interrupt. Like he'll just record stuff and send it over to us. And so we have to kind of auto generate the pattern interrupt where it's something that's, organic that we make. And it might be a glitch. Like we'll use a transitional element from the editing software where maybe the screen kind of shakes and it's a glitch, and it's like a film flash, or maybe it's a quick left to right pan using the editing program. You know,
Yeah.
that's usually I would say that's the one that we use the most is the glitch on top of the screen, because it just adds that, like, if somebody's scrolling through Facebook
It
and
kind
all
of,
of a sudden the video just kind of goes and it glitches, like, you
yeah.
got their attention for long enough to see what's this about. And then it's like he might start speaking, and we'll make sure to type whatever it is that he's saying that's the hook over top of the screen. Like, we like to make it bigger than captions, because captions are great. Like, the captions will still be there, but we like to have the hook like really be big on the screen, where it's like, you know, how to trying to think of an example. Like, I mean, I'll just keep it simple, but like how to grow your business, or you
Mm-hmm.
know, 3 guaranteed funnel hacks, or you know, whatever. And so they read that, so they see a glitch, and then they see a hook on the screen, and then they're hooked, right? They're in, and so then they watch the rest of the ad. So usually, like, the first, I would say 20 to 30 seconds of the ad is the most impactful in the messaging and what we're putting in the front. So that way, we want to get people to stick around for the rest of the ad. And usually our ads, I would say they hover right around 60 seconds, and
Okay.
they don't go much beyond that. Like, for us doing 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute, we just don't do that anymore. We just don't make long ads. The ads are
Long ad.
usually around 60 seconds. So,
Someone has a
uh,
question. He says, of all the ingredients here, can you identify the 80-20 for creatives? We focus mainly on the interrupt and the hook.
um, so he means like the 80%, like what are the ones that we use 80% of the time?
Maybe. Yeah. I'm not exactly sure. For the creative, 80-20 for the creative. If we focus
Uh,
mainly on the interrupt and the hook.
I would say, I mean, I'll try to answer his question without fully understanding it, but
Yeah.
like, if we had to, let's say if we had to drop out some of these ingredients, I would say drop out value perception, drop out um, maybe new opportunity, and
Okay.
the rest I would keep in. But sometimes, like, if you have something that is there's a lot of competition in the marketplace. Maybe you're teaching weight loss, right? Like, it's kind of really important to talk about the new opportunity, because everyone's talking about how they can help people lose weight, but like, what's different about your solution?
Yeah.
Like, what's polarizing about it? Where it's like, oh, you know, you're only gonna work out twice a week, and you only have to, you know, you can eat dessert every night or something. It's like something that's different, so it's a new opportunity that no one else has, right? So, I mean, that's why it's hard to say what are the ones that I would get rid of. They're all
Yeah, so you kind
important.
of have to, yeah, kind of have to take, your situation and apply
Right.
it. I put it together thing, and I kind of introduced myself. I says, "Hey, I'm James Hurst. I'm the host of the marketing show." And Dennis Yu, he's like, "Hey, that's a big mistake. No one cares who you are yet until you've, provided some value." Or what do you have to say about that as far as the placement of what? Yeah, what if you are not the, a big name already? How are you going to demonstrate? How do you recommend someone demonstrates their authority, or displays that and at what point?
You demonstrate your authority through a case study. If
Yeah.
let's say you've only worked with 3 clients in your life, like, or maybe you haven't
Mhm.
worked with any clients at all. That's okay. I mean, I tell people this all the time. When I first started my video business in 2011, I went from unemployed at the end of 2010 and decided to start my own business January 1st, 2011. And I had nothing going for me. And so I kept reaching out to big companies, and I was offering my services for free. And if that's what you have to do to get your foot in the door so you can start getting some of those clients and getting some of those results, case studies for whatever it is that you do, that's what you got to do. And so that's your authority, where it's like, hey, we were able to take, so and so, we built them a funnel, and they 3x, 4x, 5x their business, or whatever the metrics are that you want to share that people care about. That's your authority. And so that's what I would do for that.
Your authority is in your results, however little they are.
Exactly.
I
Yeah,
had a
it is.
question. Someone did have a question. They said, "Are you creating a different video ad for every platform?" So are you when you have a client, are you chopping it up in all the different platforms for them, or are you just kind of giving them some raw files, or how does that work?
Yeah, usually we're doing most of our ads on Facebook and Instagram, and some of
Okay.
it floats over to YouTube. And we basically will give them one version. Um, it's like, let me just, it's basically one video ad, right? Like if you put the big mothership up top, the one video ad that you make that's killer, it's like a 60-second ad. Then we'll take that and then we'll break it up into different sizes. So it's like, okay, we have our 16:9 widescreen video that can pretty much go anywhere. And then we'll break it up into a 1x1 and sometimes a vertical. So then they can run it on Instagram, Facebook, they can do stories, all that stuff. And then what we'll also do is we'll take that one core video ad and then we'll give them 3, 4, sometimes 5 different hook variations. So the only thing that's different about the ad is the very first 3 seconds where it's the hook. So then we're testing all those hooks against each other. Like when we did ads for Mike Tyson, we really only did 3 video ads for him, but we turned that into 72 assets, right? So you're looking at 1x1, 16:9, 9x16, and it was like 4 or 5 different hooks. I forget what it was. And so you add all that stuff up. Now you have a bunch of different assets to play with. So, but it's really, if you look at it, it's only 3 video ads.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a question from Jake Shore. I'm doing really well with Facebook ads. Do you recommend checking out YouTube? We still use graphics. Can you still use graphics for YouTube or only video?
Yeah, the thing about YouTube though is that it's just a different animal in the way that you have to structure your videos because people can't wait to hit that skip button. So your hook has to be really good and you have to give them a reason to stick around. So it's not that you can't run a YouTube ad on Facebook or vice versa. You can try it out. But I would say definitely take some of your best performing ads that you have on Facebook, turn them into a widescreen and throw them up on YouTube. I mean, you could still do like the shorts ads or whatever that are vertical. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I was
we do
actually
that. Like ClickFunnels does that a lot with some of the ads that we do where they'll just throw it up on YouTube and see how it does. I would say it's more hit or miss because YouTube is just a different animal because people are there for a reason and you're standing in front of their TV when they're trying to watch the big game. That's what you're doing. So it's like you have to have a good reason to get them to stick around. But yeah, we cross-platform things all the time, and sometimes they hit on YouTube, so you never know.
I did an experiment where I was actually running like with what I call the video shorts ad. So I filmed it in vertical, and then in my settings in Google Ads, I actually set it to only display on mobile. So that's kind of a way to, kind of use vertical on a YouTube ad potentially. The other thing, like you said, with the 6-second skip, you kind of want to come out, I think, right? You want to identify who your customer is. You actually want people to skip that you don't want. Have you talked about that much before?
Yeah, there's the example I like to give on that one where it was an ad that I saw where it's like, if you don't own this specific type of a plane, then please skip this ad. And I was just like, I don't own a freaking plane. It was literally like, that's what it was. They wanted a specific type of person that owned a plane so that they could introduce their other like solution for it. Or I didn't watch the ad. It was like something, maybe it was a different plane they were trying to sell.
He was weeding you out.
Yeah, they're inviting people to skip the ad. That's one of the things that I teach in my YouTube ad formula. It's like, tell people like, if you're not a so-and-so, like if you're not a coach doing at least 6 figures, like please skip this ad. Cause you're also screening the wrong people out. If you don't want to work with people who are like, for me in our agency, if somebody books a call with us and they're not running ads and they don't have an offer, like I don't want to talk to them. So it's like in the front, I have that on my Calendly or whatever, but it's like, if somebody answers those questions the wrong way, I'm like, I don't want to talk to this person because it's just an uphill battle of trying to get them. We might have to look at your funnel and make sure it's like, I don't even want to go there. I just want to make you video ads to your proven offer that you've already run traffic to, and then we can talk. So yeah, totally. Screening people out is like the best thing you can ever do.
Okay, it looks like we got quite a few questions coming in here. Let's take an easy one real quick. So Chris Stone says, what's the next big thing for Kevin Anson other than speaking on stage? What are you working on? Are you growing your video ad agency or what's the big thing for you?
The next big thing for me is probably just the info product side of things, which I've already, I've been doing that for the last couple of years and really just leaning in more on that. The agency is always there and it's not going away. Like we're doing lots of video ads and more clients are coming to us all the time who are interested in us. But I just love the info product side, the courses, the teaching, the consulting. I've been doing some of that, which has been a lot of fun. And then
I know you have
doing
that. I know you have that thing with Course Creator Pro, right? With the
right.
Wallbacks,
Yep.
stuff like
Yep.
that.
So that's basically a coaching role inside of their program and helping their students do that. And so, yeah, I think it's really just, giving back. It's like sometimes I look at what I've done and I'm just like, how am I so lucky to be here? Like, I don't know. I've
Yeah,
just created thousands and thousands of videos and I never thought that I was anyone. I was just like, oh, I'm just another dude
just
creating videos. Like I'm not better than anyone else. I'm still not, but I was just like, all of a sudden people start
but
looking at me like, oh, you have all these cool skills and you have all this stuff to teach. Like you should teach it to people. And I'm just like, really? Like, I don't know. Everyone
yeah,
knows how to make videos, don't they? Like, what are you talking about? And then it was just like, okay. So then I started getting into that. It's like this feeling of like helping people and knowing when they get a result from what I've taught them and they're able to go on and make more money or get more clients or they can
yeah.
help change the world. It's just been it's been a lot of fun to see that happen.
So I was actually checking out your YouTube channel, and I was thinking, you have a ton of subscribers for how few videos you've posted. I think you could easily, if you put some effort in it, I think I would love to see you get a silver play button at 100K subscribers. Is that in your future, you think? I mean,
Yeah, I think that it is, honestly. I could have had
yeah,
one by now. It's like literally like we
I
had our
think,
third kid and it was in
yeah,
2007. We had our third kid and like one of my last videos I made was just like we're at the hospital. I think the headline was like we rendered a baby because I like use After Effects
yeah,
and it was just a joke. And then like I didn't make any videos after that. But yeah, like if you guys want to know the secret to like growing on YouTube and what I did, I'll tell you. So I got to almost 10,000 subscribers pretty quickly. And what I did was I was just like, okay, no one knows who I am. And I mean, still no one knows who I am, let's be honest. But I was just like, okay, I want to make videos, but I want to get them viewed by more people. So I would make like, the best tutorial that I could. And if you go on there, you can laugh at my hair. I had like long hair and I like parted it to the side, like, blow me up in the comments, whatever. So I would finish a video tutorial that I was super proud of. And then I would take it and I would go on a bunch of Reddit communities that were in regards to video editing, motion graphics. So it's, Adobe Premiere, Adobe After Effects. But I didn't have the same screen name as my name. I would make up some random name like, Chris 93765 or whatever, right? And
yeah.
then I would go in there and I would say,
And
hey, you guys should check out this video tutorial by this dude. And I would make fun of myself. I would be like, his hair is ridiculous, but it's really good information. So then they didn't know that it was me. And
yeah,
they'd be like, there's no way like this guy's gonna come in here and like,
and
try
bash
to promote
himself.
his own thing. Yeah. And so it worked. Like I would literally do that and I would wake up in the morning, I had like 3,000 views on my video. I was like, holy crap, this is working. So I did that with every single video that I did. And I also made it a point to give something away for free in the description every time I did a video. So I was collecting email addresses and I got like 10,000 emails really fast that way. And then whenever I came out with a new video, I would email my list. I'd be like, have a
Yes.
new video, go to YouTube and check it out. So it was just like this snowball approach. Every time I made a video, more people were watching it. And then we had our third kid and I just kind of dropped off the face of the earth. And of course, family is more important, but yeah,
And now is it 4 kids now total?
4 kids. Yeah.
Four
So now
kids.
I
Yeah.
have no time at all to do any of that, but
I
one
know
day.
summer's upon it. The kids are out of school. I have 5 kids, so I don't want to
Yep.
hear any complaints about.
Right.
No, but
Yeah.
that's
You're at a
great,
different
man.
level for sure.
No, but dude, I was thinking, Parker Wallbeck, he has like 2 million subs, but he does video, like he does film, and so do you. And so like what you do is such a great fit for YouTube. I think you got to go get your silver play button at least sometime. Let's take another question here from Mark here. Can you do the A/B testing of ads through organic posting and then run ads with the best performing videos?
Can you do A/B testing of ads through organic posting? And then, yep, totally. That's what we did. I consulted with Gym Launch, and we were doing that where it's basically you're putting up a video on Instagram, you're seeing if it hits,
Yeah.
and then you take that, you move it over to Facebook, and you scale it. So
So yeah, you're talking about having things that convert already, right? Offers that convert, things
mhm.
like that.
Yep.
Even just in my own YouTube channel, I know what are my, I put out a lot of different things. I know which ones have gotten the most views, what's most, until your organic should really inform, taking your best crack at your paid, right?
Right. Yeah. It's a great way. It's a great indicator of like if a video is going to do well is on organic. I mean, you could I would throw it up on Instagram, throw it up on TikTok, maybe throw it up on YouTube and see where it hits. Because different platforms are kind of different. It's like the weirdest thing. A friend of mine put a video on TikTok and I got 45 million views. And then, I think he got like 30,000 followers out or whatever. And he put the same video on Instagram and it got like, I don't know, not even 20,000 views. I'm like, how the heck does that work? Like, I don't know. I know the algorithm rhythms are
Yeah.
different, but it's definitely worth testing to see, which platform it hits on, and then, taking the winners and putting some money behind them for sure. But yeah, no, that's a great way to test things and test hooks. And I know that ClickFunnels is starting to do that. I think Brendan Burchard is doing that similar strategy. I think Eileen Wilder is doing that. They'll throw up videos and see which one hits. So
Yeah.
great idea.
And I guess it should be said that, something that hits from a view perspective, just thousands or 40,000 views, I think you got to maybe look a step further at, opt-ins, conversions on the product itself, right? So views, opt-ins, sales. And something that Stockton was recently telling me about was that his, from the first contact until he actually gets paid from them could be up to 6 months. And so a lot of us
Mm-hmm.
are looking for that quick win sale. Who's ready to buy like right now? But there's so many people that you just need to stay in front of them through the remarketing, through the email marketing, providing value, case studies. And it could be a much longer sales cycle than a lot of people are thinking. So,
No, it's absolutely true. I know that when I was doing ads for my video formula, thevideoformula.com, which is still up there.
yeah.
And I mean, I was spending, it was in 2021. It was like right after the pandemic hit. And I got up to where I was spending 15 grand a month in ads, which is a lot for me. I mean, it was like, I was just a little guy. And that's the same way it would work is they would go to the funnel. I had a 2-step order form, and then they might opt into that, and then they would bail and not buy. And then I had a follow-up sequence with them. It was like 12 emails or something like that. So some people would buy on like, the 6th email or the 10th email or the 12th email, but then they would continuously see my ads. So I had like 5 or so really good ads that were just touch points, like you're saying. And eventually people see you and they have to kind of know that it's the same company that they're dealing with. Like if they keep seeing me pop up, they know it's the same guy. Like, but if you're having videos where you're not the attractive character in front of the camera, like they don't always know it's the same offer. They might see like a bunch of stock footage, but they don't know that that's the same offer that they're seeing. But if they keep seeing the same guy, different shirt, different day, different background, like eventually they start to warm up to you and they're like, oh, this guy's kind of cool. Like I could learn from him. And then they buy your stuff. So yeah, it takes, sometimes it does take a while.
Yeah. Um, Here's another question from Jake Shore. Uh, we offer 7 days of free lead. Think that's a solid hook?
Yeah, but who's it for? That's what I would
Who's it
ask.
for?
I'd be like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. That's awesome. But like, who's it for? Is it for me? Is it for, you know what I mean? It could be for anybody. So that's what I would ask on that.
Yeah.
7 days,
And
free leads for whoever it is. So that's the
and
important
and
indicator.
I guess that's almost like a hook offer, right? So a hook is a lot of times just getting them to stop what they're doing, right? And then maybe the offer comes later too, but he's kind of having a hook and an offer together there. But
Yeah,
that
no,
would be
it's a great hook for sure. Or you could do like, attention, um, I don't know who's a business, attention, auto insurance, or I don't know, lawyers, attorneys, attention attorney, 7 days free leads or something like that. Right. So you want to put in who it is. Yeah, you could kind of move things around, but it's kind of like one of those Hermosi offers. Like you feel stupid saying no. So, that's a good one for sure.
Someone's saying the kids can make the videos by now. 7 days of free lead make a difference, needs an end result.
Right.
Yeah. Appreciate everyone jumping on. So
Yeah, no, it's helpful. I mean, if you guys have any more questions, hit them up because it's helpful to get that stuff.
what would be a great hook for the marketing show by James Hurst? Oh dear. Put me on the spot.
I don't know.
Well,
I wanted to say like marketing secrets, but that's already taken.
That's
But
Russell.
I mean, you say
That's
like
Russell's
marketing hacks with 7-figure entrepreneurs.
I think my little niche is just marketing automation. I'm not so much on the marketing side as much as like cool automations. Obviously, I'm a high level fan. I'm trying to get you to come over someday, but I know you have your your loyalties now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a different conversation. But yeah, no, I mean, it just depends on like, I really like you guys watching this. Like, you have to ask yourself, like, who do you want to be watching your show? Or who do you want to be coming through your funnel? Like, just because you're getting leads doesn't mean they're the right type of leads. Like, what if you're selling a female product and you keep getting a bunch of men coming through? You're doing something wrong. You're not identifying people. You're not saying the thing that they really want in the hook. So it's like, for us, I want businesses to come through who are running ads to a paid offer. And I've even gotten it as far as to say, like, you must be spending at least, $20,000 a month in ads, because I know you have some skin in the game. So anyone else who comes through that's below that doesn't mean that like they're like a bad person or anything. I'm not saying that. It's just like, that's just who our ideal client is, right? And so you want to just think about who you want coming through and how would you speak to them if you were to meet them in a hallway, right? They're like your perfect candidate. Like, that's how your hook should be tailored to.
Love it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
this is just the start. I mean, I have like, by the way, I'm going to put out a sick video today, probably today on Instagram, just to kind of test it and see. And then if it works, I'll run ads to it.
Nice.
It's going to be rad. So go and follow me at Kevin Anson on Instagram.
Okay.
You can see it. But I was going to say, I do have like all of the ad types that we look at when I'll just pull that up really fast. So basically, This is a way that you are structuring the ingredients. Hopefully you guys can see this. Nope. I have to switch. Let me switch the screen.
Okay. Here it comes. Oh yes, this is the other thing I remembered from the last time you presented. I'm glad you didn't hold out on us.
Yeah,
dude.
I was just thinking about it. I'm like, wait a second, I didn't share this stuff with you guys. So this is also the secret. This is the magic, where you're essentially taking the ingredients that I just showed you on the other page and you're mixing them up in different ways. So that's why I have it as sandwiches, because when you order a sandwich off of a menu, it's got different ingredients in it. So those are the ingredients, and this is how you assemble them. So like, I mean, you could just screenshot this and like read through it. I don't need to go through every one, but the character one, this pretty much has all of the ingredients in it. And like I said before, trying it a bunch of different ways, different combinations, things like that. This is the sampler ad, where you're basically showing a sample of your offer, or maybe it's an info product, or maybe it's a physical product. You're actually showing people what they get. Or if you're selling a software, right? For you, James, if you're showing people your automation stuff, you would make an ad where you're like, hey, this is what the automation looks like, and this is how it works. Let me show you. Let me take you through step by step. So you're sampling the product. This is the storyteller one, where you have you're telling the story of someone that you got a result for. So you could do one story, you could do two, you could do three back to back. It's basically like a case study. So a PI, by the way, stands for pattern interrupt.
Okay.
Pattern interrupt, you do a hook, you tell the story, the result, the case study. I mean, it's basically these two things combined: the story and then the result. You talk about where they were before and where they were after, and then you do a CTA. The influencer one is basically a it's an ad that feels like it was made on TikTok, and it's essentially you're on camera and you're just making it feel very homemade. And maybe you do some cool camera tricks and things like that. Maybe you're showing your screen, film your laptop, showing some different stuff on the screen. But it's very, very TikTok-y is what I like to say. The educator is where you're actually, this is a very popular one right now, by the way. Another thing, way that we call it is the value plus CTA, where you do a pattern interrupt, or you could just skip straight to the hook. Then you educate people on something, and then you do a CTA. And so the video that I'm going to post today, you'll see that where it's like I'm doing a hook and then I'm educating them on something, and then the CTA is just to follow me, right?
I feel like that's what all I do. I just like I teach and I teach and I teach, and people come to learn, and then I get a chance to say subscribe or check out this other thing, or I get a chance to have a call to action, right? I feel like that's all I do is just educate, and then I also demonstrate a lot on screen, but those were definitely the ones I lean on.
We found the demonstrator. I'm sorry. This one, the demonstrator ad. That's one that we do a lot with software because people want to know what the software looks like. Yes. A lot of times, people who are selling software, they don't show what the darn software looks like. You're like, what is it? What does it look like? What does it look like when I log in? What can I expect? So you're showing it off a little bit before people actually decide that they want to buy. So you're showing, the pair of shoes. Like, what does the pair of shoes look like? If I'm going to buy this pair of shoes, what does it look like? What color are they? Like, how do they look when you're walking in them? Things like that. So that one's super important too.
Richard asks, are all sandwiches less than 60 seconds?
I would say they hover around 60 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't need to be that long. I mean, you could do 30 to 60 and you're good.
Mark's following you now.
And then the objector it's a popular one. So it's the reasons that people have for not clicking on your ad, not signing up for your offer. This could be a good retargeting ad where it's like, this is going to take me too long. It's going to be too expensive. This isn't going to work for me. I've tried this before and it didn't work, right? So those are the objections that you're addressing in the ad. And you can do as many objections as you want, where Russell calls these false beliefs, where it's like, what is the false belief that they have for why they think this thing isn't going to work? It's not going to change their life or change their business. So you present the objection and then you back it up with proof. So you go objection, proof, objection, proof. So you could do that 3 times in an ad if you want, or you could just do 1 time. So yeah, pattern interrupt, hook, objection, proof, CTA. And that one works really, really well. And then I'll do one more. So the polarizer is one where you are throwing rocks at an alternate solution to yours. So for ClickFunnels, they could be throwing rocks like they did in the past at lead pages, right? Or they throw rocks at WordPress and they're like Infusionsoft. But they say like, well, a good example one is like websites are dead, right? It's like sort of it's a big claim, even though it's not necessarily true, because websites aren't dead, but they're just saying a polarizing statement so that way they can introduce their own solution. So here's an alternate solution to creating a website, right? Like funnels convert visitors better than websites, right? So that's what they're doing. Or you could say like, diets are dead, right? And then you present your alternate solution. So it's just a polarizing statement that somebody's going to say that they normally would disagree with when they immediately see it. Like as soon as you see websites are dead in your head, you go, that's not true. Or diets are dead, you go, that's not true. Like, so you disagree with it. So that's why it's polarizing. And there's tons of different polarizing statements that you can come up with. But just think of what's your competition look like? Like, what does the other solution to yours look like? And then you create a polarizing statement around that, and you just throw rocks at that, basically. So that's how that one works. And then
Love it.
the voucher one is pretty self-explanatory. It's social proof. It's just basically having case studies back to back to back in an ad. It's a video testimonial, or maybe it's you on camera and you're sharing the story of somebody who went through a transformational journey, or maybe you're showing screenshots, from your Amazon reviews. You're like, oh, check out all these people who bought our product and they got great results with it, or screenshots of a Facebook group. People are like saying great things about you. So it's just social proof in any form that you can come up with, or whatever you have. And you have an ad that's basically just all about social proof.
What about like problem solution? Like this is someone who came to me with this problem. This is how we solved it. How does that framework fit into these? Is that any one of these?
Yeah, I mean it's like what is that, the
Case study.
PAS method?
It's kind of a case. Well, yeah, kind of a case study, right?
Yeah, I mean you're talking about. I mean, people already like automatically assume that if this person came in and they were here, and then I took them here, that they obviously had a problem when they came to me because their business was struggling, and then I brought them over here, and now they're successful. So you're still telling. It's like the before and after picture of a weight
Yes.
loss journey.
Yes.
You're just saying like, oh, they used to be here, but now they're here. So you're just kind of sharing that story, like talk
Is
about the
that
results.
is that in the storyteller one, basically, or which?
Yeah, but the storyteller is more of one where you're telling the specific story about one person
Okay.
I mean, you could do multiple stories, but you're focusing on one story of a person that came in and you helped them and you got them to the finish line or whatever. So yeah.
So when you have a client like Kajabi or Brendan Burchard or Mike Tyson, do you go in there and kind of teach them this framework and try to get a bunch of content from them, or are you in charge of putting together, what you think would work best?
Um, we have a lot of leeway with the clients that we work with. Like, they usually look at us now for the direction on what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sometimes they'll just send us a link to the landing page, and then we'll take that and we'll be like, all right, so there's this offer. Like, what do we need to make this be successful? And so we'll ask the client, hey, do you have any video testimonials? Is there a VSL on the homepage that we can use? And we'll take all the assets that we can get and we'll bring them on our end, and we'll compile them and usually follow one of these frameworks to create the ads. But no, I mean, we're not I don't know, with the clients that we work with, like Russell, somebody I always talk about, like, he's just an incredible marketer already. So pretty much the second the camera turns on and he's saying a bunch of stuff, he says just perfect gold, right? But sometimes it's like it might be a 5-minute video of him talking. And so we had to find the perfect moments in that video to pull out and then make a 60-second ad with it. So it's up to us to kind of like, pull out the good stuff. But sometimes when we work with clients who don't have as much experience, we have to tell them like, okay, turn on your camera. This is what we're going to say. Or here's a script that we wrote for you. Are you cool with it? And then we go send it out for a voiceover. Or we'll use like 11labs.io, which is an AI generating voiceover software. We'll type it in, get a voiceover back, and then we start making the ad. So usually, I mean, yeah, we don't not that often the client sends us a script that is like perfect from beginning to start, like we are start to end. Like, we have to kind of finagle a little bit and workshop it. So that's where we've gotten really good. And it's been really cool to see is that people lean on us now heavily to like take their content and turn it into something that's more direct response than something that's going to convert.
Love it, man. Cool, man. Well, I will let you sign off and tell everyone. I'd like to tell everyone thank you for joining us, and tell them where they can find you if they want to follow you. Someone did put your Instagram handle up here a little bit ago. What is it again on Instagram?
It's just my name. It's my name, Kevin Anson. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Well, guys, take a look. Follow him on Instagram. He's on Facebook. If you're going to be attending Funnel Hacking Live, be sure and cheer extra loud for him when he's there. But that being said, guys, thanks so much, and appreciate you coming on, Kevin, and sharing that framework with us. hopefully, guys, people screenshotted those off
I'm
and just
sure.
see. You said that just if you try just a few of these, you'll be doing so much better than people who don't have any kind of framework, right? At least have a
Oh,
pattern interrupt, have a call to action, have some show your authority. Like if you just pick 3 or 4 of these, you're so far ahead of the average, media buyer or media
oh man,
creative.
100%. Absolutely. I mean, if you wanted to do one right now today, I would just do the hook value CTA and start making as many of those as you can. And
Yep.
the the value is the part that you're changing out. Well, it's hook and value, but you can leave the CTA the same.
CTA.
But the value in the beginning, the hook and the value in the beginning is what you're going to be changing out. Like write down 10 different topics and teach it all. You know,
Yep.
so
Cool, man. Okay, guys. Well, thanks so much, and we'll see you guys on the next episode of the Marketing Show. Take care.
all right,
See you, man. Thanks.
see ya.